No one knows vampires better than he does.
Open wide, baby.
But he met his match when he met the master who started it all. Jack Crow. James Woods. From the master of terror comes a new breed of evil. John Carpenter's vampires.
Sorry for the wait. In the couple of weeks it's been, I did contract coronavirus and delayed our review of vampires. Let me just say it made me feel like sick and like fatigued and awful.
It delayed our review for 23 years.
Wait.
It came out in 1998.
Oh, best year.
Yeah, 98.
And then he had a lot of movies.
97 and 98 were kind of like bad years for movies, I think.
What?
I think 96 and then 99 were the good years.
Mm-hmm.
And 97 and 98 were a lot of shit.
97, 98. 97 had what? Lost World and Independence Day. That was 95.
No, that was 96.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, yeah. Got the corona, watched vampires. I felt like shit. I felt fatigued. And on top of that, I had coronavirus. The movie was fucking horseshit.
Yeah.
And
well, let's say horseshit. It's either like a really bad good movie or a good bad movie. It's not the most terrible thing. The two names in this movie it's John Carpenter and James Woods, right?
Sure.
John Carpenter. Everybody knows who John Carpenter is. Legendary horror filmmaker.
Halloween. What else?
Halloween, The Fog.
The Fog.
Lots of movies, yeah. Escape from New York.
Escape from L.A.
And even bigger movies like Starman. But
Sure.
his financial success in the 80s had kind of declined.
Yeah.
And he was making lower budget movies by the end of the 80s. John Carpenter's kind of known for like smart and like not too heavy-handed, or maybe what they live, but a little heavy-handed, but he's known for like smart social commentary.
Sure.
And this movie has none of that. Came out in 98. It was based off of a book called Vampires, spelt with a $sign.
Nice, with the S is a dollar.
Yeah, and it's part vampire film and part neo-Western, but it's not From Dusk Till Dawn.
Which came out many years later?
No, I think From Dusk Till Dawn was like 95.
Okay.
Came out before.
And
this feels like From Dusk Till Dawn a lot, but I think that's just because it's a vampire neo-Western.
Western, yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course, they're the same kind of concept. Directed by John Carpenter, starring James Woods as Jack Crow, a Vatican-funded vampire hunter who is currently hunting for vampire nests out in the New Mexican desert, which seems like a really bad place for vampires because there's lots of sun and like very few people.
Yeah, what? New Mexico?
Yeah.
It's probably just because...
It's explained in the plot. They're looking for something in New Mexico.
I did read that it is, like you said, a neo-Western, that Carpenter took the movie because he wanted to make a Western, essentially. And,
supposedly he's always wanted to make Westerns.
And just...
This was his chance to do it.
Have you seen, like, glimpses of Western in any other movies of his?
No, but his filmmaking is, like very classical and, like, straightforward. Like,
Sure.
you could tell, like, when you watch his movies that he's, like, he likes, like, John Ford.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just that straight cut.
It's just like really kind of like simple setups and lighting and like a lot of tripod and just like lockdown shots and then like some Steadicam shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really basic, clean filmmaking. Aside from Jack Crow is Tony Montoya, played by Daniel Baldwin.
Oh my God, this character, Daniel Baldwin. He looks like Alec Baldwin, but like
he does. He looks like Alec Baldwin and Fred Flintstone
combined. Yeah.
Tony Montoya is a weird name for the character too, because it's like oddly close to Tony Montana, the Al Pacino character from Scarface.
Maybe that's the point.
And it's even weirder because when you think about it, like Tony Montana sounds like a white dude, and Tony Montoya sounds like it should be the ethnic like Cuban immigrant.
Yeah, but no, he's pretty.
That's the other way around.
What, Montoya?
Yeah, Montana's
Montana's white for sure.
No, Montoya is the white guy.
Oh.
Daniel Baldwin's character is Montoya.
Okay.
Al Pacino in Scarface is Tony Montana.
Oh.
Which sounds like a white-ass fucking name, right?
Yeah, wow.
Tony Montana? Hey, I'm Tony Montana. I'm from Cuba.
Say hello to my little friend.
Everybody wants there to be a bad guy. Well, I guess Tony Montana's going to have to be the bad guy.
Does he pick his name in Scarface?
No, I think that's his real name.
That's his name. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So anyways, the two vampire hunters have spotted a nest out in the New Mexican desert. Jack gives the word and they pull up to the house and open up the back of the truck, revealing a full crew of vampire hunters. And they all get out and start like gearing up. The hunters do look authentically like New Mexican guys. Like it's a bunch of like hicks and like one Indian dude.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But their gear isn't that impressive.
Cast.
Like these globe-trotting vampire hunters look less militarized than like just run-of-the-mill cops in 2022.
Yeah, they just have some pistols and some other assault rifles that they impounded or whatever.
Yeah, they got like neck guards and like chainmail and shit, and then like sleek like 90s militarized wooden stakes. Like they're in like a fucking Pelican case. You know?
Well, yeah, you gotta carry them in the Pelican case, dude, so it looks real legit. You know, you don't want to get a ding in your...
These are union vampire hunters. Like they get cut at 12 hours. They're guaranteed 3 meals.
Meal penalties.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Lunch,
you got to get union hours on a junior vampire set. So everyone's suiting up, and the whole time James Woods is just kind of like standing there with his sunglasses on, eyeing the door as the camera dollies in, because this guy really hates vampires.
Yeah, he's tucked his shirt into his pants. He's pulled it way up. He's tightened his belt. This guy is ready to...
Yeah. So the film does a pretty good job of like building up anticipation for what seems like it's going to be a raid on a house full of vampires. Mm-hmm. And it would be pretty cool, but James Woods as Jack Crow just looks like somebody's divorced dad trying to dress cool. Like he looks like a guy who sells vacuum cleaners and like takes out the Harley on Sundays.
And that's pretty much his shtick. This movie, he tries to be cool,
but it's like
vampires.
Also he's like this this foul mouthed tough guy. But the things that he says are not that vulgar. It's like he's like holding back and using like cute dad language. And then like Daniel Baldwin is just fat as shit.
yeah.
You know,
that guy couldn't catch a donut rolling downhill towards him.
Yeah,
let alone a vampire coming out at you.
Yeah, well, what's really funny is that initially it was supposed to be Alec Baldwin playing the part, but the movie's budget got cut from $60 million to $20 million.
And Alec was like, "I'm out. Take my fat brother."
Yeah, he recommended the role to his lesser sought after brother Daniel, who was probably more affordable. And that sounds like you're getting less for less, but in reality, you're actually getting an extra 35 pounds of Baldwin for less money. So you're kind of getting more for less.
Yeah, that's what I call value.
The door to the house is locked, so Jack calls for one of the guys in the crew to bring out a specialized machine that cuts a hole beneath the doorknob so that James Woods can reach in and unlock the door. Mm-hmm. Which, like, honestly, it just seems like a lot of effort and risk opposed to just knocking the door in or pulling the door off its hinges with the winch. Right.
Drill a hole and then reach around like it's a glass pane or something.
Yeah.
To like go like, what the hell?
But I guess it builds tension because like he's reaching in, you're expecting him to get bit.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact: when it's not vampire season, Jack Crow and his team moonlight up and down the West Coast, cutting glory holes into men's room stalls at various truck stops and whatnot. But in the winter days when the days are short and vampire hunting isn't viable, that's what the team has to do to pay the rent.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they have the glory hole cutting gun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's super quick glory holes for when it's like, oh shit, there's a lot of people in this bathroom. They're going to be wanting to be taking shits and using this toilet as the urinal. Yeah. And we, get a little sucky as they go through.
That's right, Padre. I deal with bloodsuckers and cum suckers. And by that I mean priests and vampires.
Which one's which? That was more clever than a lot of the writing in this.
Yeah. Well, it would be really funny if Jack Crow just cut a hole in the door and stuck his penis in to check for vampires. Or even better, they make the priest do it. So, like, that's actually why the priest is there. They give him a Cialis and they make him watch Nickelodeon or the Disney Channel in the back of the truck until he's, like, fully erect. Then they tell him they're at a Build-A-Bear workshop and they just cut him a fresh glory hole.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
The stuffing.
Yeah. So when the Catholic priest puts his fully erect penis through the hole, any vampire inside will bite it, alarming the crew, and also killing the vampire because, a priest is like a tool of God.
Yeah. So
and
there
his
you go.
fluids are basically like holy water.
It's not holy blood.
Yeah.
Like in that other movie we reviewed.
They enter the house and they're all creeping around, and then the native guy opens a door and like some shitty like Halloween dummy falls out and scares him. It's like pretty cheap.
Yes, they definitely chinsed out there. But you know what you're gonna do when your budget's shot from 60 to 20, and you still want to make it.
Yeah, it's quite a drop, but 20 mil is pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
20 million,
not
you
too
can
bad
do a lot.
for
With
a
20.
fucking shitty vampire dick joke movie. But anyways, the team finally encounters a real vampire. A woman attacks them, and they riddle her with bullets.
We know she's a vampire because she's got teeth.
Yeah, she's got the teeth.
She's
pretty obviously a
She
vampire.
can jump around.
She's jumping around. She like piggybacks on a dude.
Right.
You know?
Pretty spooky vampire shit.
Yeah. And just as James Woods is about to hit her with the crossbow, another vampire drops out of the ceiling. So now they're trying to contain two.
Oh, that's a lot of vampires.
Yeah, they are pretty cool vampires. You got to give the movie that. But anyways, Jack shoots the female with the crossbow, and this is where we first see how the team kills the vampires, and it's pretty interesting. Basically, they hit him with the crossbow, and the arrow is linked up to a winch on the truck outside. And when Daniel Baldwin gets word, he engages the winch, pulling the vampires out into the sun, which kills them and makes them explode.
Yeah, they just light up like they're fireworks, and they.
Yeah, they do just look like fireworks. Right?
I mean, it's pretty cool how fast the combustion is of the vampires. Usually you see if a vampire gets in the sun, his skin melts or he's like a long, slow body burn. But this is like, someone lit a fuse, quick, fucking throw that firecracker because it's going to blow your hand off. And
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No complaints there. So the team kills 9 vampires, making this the biggest nest they've ever found.
Do we lose anybody?
No.
All of our good guys.
No,
survive.
they're all fine.
They use guns, right?
They use guns. They have to use stakes and the crossbow to kill the vampires, but they do have guns.
I was wondering why the hell they have guns. Because they're using guns a lot throughout this movie. And yet it kind of just like, I don't know, knocks the vampire back a little bit. It like doesn't kill him
if
at
you
all.
shoot them enough, it does like have them drained so that you can then hit them with the winch or whatever. But yeah, the logic of the movie's not great. And the plot is confusing as fuck. But the problem is that they don't find like the master in the house.
Okay.
You know, like the master vampire.
Master Bader?
I guess.
You get it. It's a joke.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Yeah. So as the vampire hunters are pulling away and the sun's setting, we see like 2 claws pop up out from the dirt.
Right. Because he was actually outside.
Yeah.
Buried under the ground.
Which is pretty cool. Like the vampire just sleeping in the dirt is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's smart if everyone's trying to burn you in a house.
Yeah. Good intro scene. I'm just very distracted by the shitty gradient filter. So in the next scene, the vampire hunters are partying at a motel. Yeah.
Right. A pretty rundown hotel. And they're really
The
partying.
sun god, which obviously is like symbolic.
Right. Is the name of the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun god.
And
Because
the priest is like trying to appease the local sheriff who's complaining about having to procure prostitutes and booze for the vampire hunters.
Yeah, why did he have to do that? Because they rid the town of vampires, and that's like their payment. Like, yeah, you gotta let us sleep with, whores and whatnot.
I guess they're just paying him.
Okay.
These guys they're like 90s anti-heroes without much subtlety.
Yeah, sitting around inside at night with sunglasses, with their pants pulled up to their nipples.
Yeah, they're partying like rock stars or like old-time cowboys, I guess is what they're going for.
Oh, sure, yeah, just drinking at the saloon and having some ladies sit on your lap and giving her a slap or whatever.
Yeah, getting some whores on the church's dime.
Yeah, and nice chlamydia on the church's dime.
Yeah. There's a scene at the motel where Daniel Baldwin's character is chatting up a prostitute.
What you do?
We kill vampires.
And Daniel Baldwin tells her, like, all nonchalant, he's like, we kill vampires. Yeah. To be fair, the other guys do the killing, and Montoya just sits by the truck and turns the winch on and off.
Yeah, they're doing the work, and he's, getting the glory, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty low pressure, just being out in the sun with no threat of actual vampires.
Yeah, just make sure you pull them out.
Yeah, just eating fucking McDonald's.
Yummy.
But, the party's really starting to get wild. There's like a shot of one of the hunter guys, and he's standing in the corner with a bra in his mouth, and he just growls with the bra in his mouth, and then picks up a lamp and throws it out the window.
Whew, that's a wild party.
It's a wild party, man.
Like in 1998, dude.
Yeah,
Different
yeah.
time.
Right?
The sheriff could be there. You could growl with a bra in your mouth and throw a lamp.
Is that what like a fucking 53-year-old man thinks like a wild party is in 1998? He's like,
Yeah, the guy, he growls and throws the lamp.
It's a good time.
so John, don't you think you should like fuck the whore or do some coke or something?
No. He's gonna play with the lamp.
Throws it out a window.
Yeah, he's wild.
It's wild and violent. They are a violent bunch, you know.
Yeah.
They spend their day killing vampires.
He takes the ice tray out and flips it upside down. Just ice
Oh.
cubes everywhere. It's a wild party.
Ice cubes. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna write the soundtrack. It's gonna be really hip, cool rock music.
Hey,
Did you like the soundtrack? It's like John Carpenter's fucking dad rock music.
yeah. He came up with like 2 or 3 licks, and that was about it. He makes sure he just uses those over and over again in perpetuity.
It sounds like the music you'd see in like a commercial for like, hey, you can go to auto mechanic school. Fucking learn HVAC. So Jack Crow is off somewhere flirting with another sex worker, and he moves in like he's gonna kiss her, but he just like rubs his lips on her chin. It's really weird.
That's how.
That's how
real
James
men
Woods
kiss.
seduces prostitutes.
I mean, you don't want to kiss him on the lips, Gary. It's a prostitute.
Yeah,
Dicks go into those lips.
yeah.
Kiss her on the chin. Only balls. Hit
Oh,
the
her
chin.
lips. I think you're talking about James Woods.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Jack gives her his room key, and she goes to wait for him. Unfortunately for her, the master vampire shows up and is waiting inside Jack's room when she enters.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting sequence here. Right?
Yeah. Wait. So this is Master Vampire. He sneaks into James Woods' hotel room.
Yeah, he shows
To
up
wait.
at the hotel. The prostitute is sent to James Woods' private room.
Right.
And when she gets in there, he's already in there. She turns around and sees the vampire, and the screen flashes red. And then suddenly she's on her back, seemingly having an orgasm,
Right.
while the vampire's face is buried in her crotch.
Right.
So I guess like she was on the rag, and he just sniffed it out right away, like a fucking bloodhound. Just right to it.
He was. Yeah.
It 100% looks like he's eating her out.
It does. I mean, why else would he be between the legs?
Yeah.
I mean,
But then-
vampires are supposed to be sexy and like have sex with you, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like sensual.
Even though if they have sharp teeth.
Yeah, but it literally just looks like he's eating her out, and then like they cut to a different angle, and you can see he's just like biting her thigh.
Oh, bait and switch.
Yeah, but she is having an orgasm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The master vampire goes next door to the party, and he starts fucking shit up pretty bad.
Hell yeah.
First he splits Mark Boone Jr. in half.
Which looks sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool, right?
Yeah. I mean, the guy had it coming. He's killed a bunch of his friends. Now vampires seeking revenge. Punch through the guy, rip him in half out his head.
Yeah, he fucks him up, and it's a pretty cool scene, but like it's just weird, like cross dissolves constantly. The movie does it like a lot too. It's like not just this scene. Anyways, the master vampire is pretty badass. So like at least the movie does that pretty well. My big issue with the vampire though is that his wardrobe is distractingly bad.
Why?
It's
'Cause it
like
looks like old.
Yeah, it's like an 80s goth look.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing all of this like puffy, shiny, like high fashion looking stuff. And he should be fucking filthy. He just pulled himself out of the dirt.
Right.
Did he
Rather
take a
than-
fucking morning shower and put on his clean David Bowie outfit?
I'm sure there's a BDSM shop somewhere in New Mexico that he could have slipped by and slaughtered a couple people. Threw on some shiny lingerie or whatever.
It doesn't even look like late 90s stylized shit. It looks like shit from like 10 years before. It's very
It's
weird.
New Mexico, dude. They haven't gotten new stock in their sex shops for the past 10 years.
He's wearing like Flock of Seagulls shit.
Yeah.
He's wearing like new wave girls clothing. It doesn't make any sense. But like I said, at least
Like the
he's a good adversary for the antagonist, the Jack Crow character.
Right.
So the master vampire turns his attention to Jack, who he addresses by name, which like really freaks him out.
Right.
And the priest comes to his rescue and shoots the vampire from behind with a shotgun. And he just fucking grabs him and puts the shotgun under his chin and blows his brains all over the ceiling.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So the vampire kills everyone except for James Woods, Daniel Baldwin, and the prostitute Katrina, who's played by Cheryl Lee. She played Laura Palmer on Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Some sort of following. That was prior to this movie?
That would have been like early 90s. So they hightail it out of there, and
Wait, he just doesn't kill him?
Who?
The vampire, the master vampire just
They
doesn't
just
kill
run.
him. Oh, okay. As everybody should have done.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So they hightail it out of there, and Jack sees Katrina has been bit. So at first he like pushes her away, but then he realizes he can use her to track the vampire, so he takes her in the truck with Tony. But it's like very on the nose how they like get these plot points down there. He like says it out loud. He's like, "No, wait, I can use this piece of shit." He just like grabs her.
Yeah.
Like there's just no good storytelling here at all.
So this prostitute is gonna be used to find the master vampire is the plan, because she's slowly turning into a vampire. She's not a vampire yet. She's just been bitten. She's like converting, but I guess it takes a little bit.
She will eventually be a vampire, but right now she's just bit.
Right.
So they take off in the truck, which is weird. They like take off in this truck. Why don't they take off in the fucking crazy armored vampire safe truck? They literally have it there.
It's like parked right next to it.
Yeah.
They don't have the keys.
They just take another pickup truck. Fucking stupid shit. So the vampire fucking flies after them, which is actually pretty cool. Like he flies onto the back of the truck,
Right.
smashes through the rear window,
Mm-hmm.
and they shoot him in the head, which doesn't really do much, but it makes him fall off the truck.
Right.
Pretty brutal interpretation of vampires.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fuck with these sortas.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
vamps flying around. Not the type I deal with, Gary.
No?
I deal with sensual vampires.
Yeah, sexy vampires.
Sparkly skin.
Like the guy from fucking Silicon Valley, the Me Too vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have pronouns.
They don't have pronouns. Yeah. They're non-gender identifying problematic vampires.
How dare you?
Why?
I don't know. I'm going to have an issue with anything you say.
I'm not the one who's fucking biting ladies without their consent, Russ.
It's consensual.
What are you, fucking Bill Clinton?
Marv Albert.
So just as the sun's coming up, they flip the truck, and Tony and Jack get out pretty much unscathed. And Jack pulls a sex worker from the cab.
Mm-hmm.
Tony and him argue because Tony doesn't understand why Jack wants her along, considering she's been bit.
Tony is Daniel Baldwin.
Yeah, Tony is the Daniel Baldwin character. Okay. So Jack explains to Tony his plan to use her to track the vampire.
After that, he's going to start receiving his thoughts, seeing what he sees. Exactly. Like a surveillance camera, so we can find him and shove a stake right up his ass. I'm going to use this piece of shit to get to the master and to whoever tipped him off.
He literally says, "I'm going to use this piece of shit." It's fucking great. They have no empathy for this unrealistically beautiful prostitute. I know they're going for like the anti-hero thing, but pretty unlikable guys.
Yeah, these guys are just kind of scum.
Yeah.
They're just pretty scummy guys.
They treat this very traumatized woman like a dog.
Yeah.
She's just attacked, had her fucking clit bitten off by a monster.
And all they're going to do is like push her around and...
Yeah, Jack's like fucking smacking her in the face and pushing her around like she's a fucking farm animal. She's all fucked up and bleeding from her crotch the whole time.
Yeah, whatever. Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it seems like... I don't know if that was like supposed to be cool.
This is the
or
good
that
guy.
was cool in like 1981 or something. Yeah. If that ever was cool.
Well, hold on, guys. We're going into the woke Russ segment where he's going to explain to you why this is problematic. All right, Russ, go.
It's not cool anymore. You can't
explain what's problematic about the scenario.
What's problem is that they're not treating another person like a person.
Yeah, they're dehumanizing this sex worker.
Yes, and she happens to be a woman, and that's really where it becomes problematic because of the history of cinema. Because women typically have been put down, and they're typically in a position of danger, or they're cannon fire fodder, or they're just like, just knocked around. It's just stupid.
You're not really doing a good job.
No, I can't. I'm a man. I can't justify.
Quit fucking mansplaining, Russ. You fucking piece of shit. Yeah. All right, so they steal a car. They steal a car and drive back to the motel from the previous night. And Jack orders Tony to take Katrina to another motel or a hotel and wait for him.
Nicer.
Yeah, it is nicer. Well, he wants him to wait for him there while he buries all the corpses by himself, which seems fucking crazy. Like, it's a lot of corpses.
Yeah, he's a fast digger, though. He's into it. I don't know, Gary.
There's no fucking way. So, like, next is, like, this, like, 90s montage of James Woods dismembering corpses to more, like, dad rock music.
Of his friends, right?
Yeah, it's all his team members. It's a preposterous scenario. James Woods looks like he would have trouble walking a block with a gallon of milk. Like, there's no way he's cutting one person's head off. Forget a fucking dozen.
Yeah. And then digging 6-foot holes for all of them? No.
Cutting someone's head off is a crazy difficult thing to do. Even like those ISIS guys need like a team of 2 or 3 to pull that shit off.
Yeah, the
And
video.
it takes forever. You ever see like one of those videos?
Yeah, it takes like 2 or 3
start
minutes.
cutting. No, they'll start cutting the guy's head off. The video will cut to like 3 hours later, and like they'll get through the spine. Like it takes a fucking hour.
3
dude.
hours, really?
Yeah, you know how hard it is to cut through somebody's fucking spinal cord?
I don't.
No, of course not. When the shit hits the fan, Russ isn't gonna be the one killing the vampires. All right?
What?
He went to fucking art school for crying out loud.
I'm gonna be the one sawing up my friends.
Yeah, he'll write you a fucking poem about it.
Dedicate the.
Yeah.
What's
No, it makes no fucking sense. It would take him forever to cut all these people's heads off. And, like, a bunch of them are prostitutes. You know how strong a prostitute's neck is?
Oh, wow.
You ever try to fucking choke a prostitute?
Yeah.
Their necks are
That's all I
fucking...
do.
Yeah, of course. Their necks are very muscular from fucking vigorous use. You know, constant fucking deep-throating and being choked and kicked in the throat and shit.
Hung upside down.
Yeah.
Kicked in the throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it, Russ.
Sure.
And that's why I'm here to be an advocate for the sex workers and combat your fucking toxic masculinity. All right, so while James Woods is doing his cool like montage thing, Tony takes Katrina to a hotel. And I guess it's like a real highfalutin joint because the guy behind the counter is like giving Daniel Baldwin all this shit. Like he doesn't think a third string actor can afford to stay in such a ritzy establishment. It's like, no, excuse me, sir. This is more of an Alec Baldwin hotel.
We have a fountain.
Yeah. So Tony
An
peels...
ice machine.
Yeah, right. Like it doesn't even look that nice.
No.
So anyways, like Tony peels off $400 cash and gives it to the young Colonel Sanders looking guy. And then he's just like chilling and watching a news report about the motel that James Woods torched. Because in this world, you can walk into a motel in the middle of the day, dismember a dozen corpses, and burn the whole place down without anyone noticing.
Yep. And have a.
But it's on the news a couple hours later.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
the cops finally got there in the nick of time. As soon as he was done.
right after he was done.
I have to burn it down
Yeah.
to the very bottom.
And apparently James Woods just has to like bury the heads of the vampires.
Oh, not the bodies?
No, just their heads.
Oh, well, that's convenient then.
Yeah,
Smaller
yeah.
holes.
These vampire rules are kind of dumb.
They're going to find a lot of burnt up, severed headed bodies in that.
They're going to find a lot of hooker bodies inside that hotel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So next, Jack Crow is at some church or something getting stitched up. While the vampire is just like riding around on top of a train like a hobo. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Can't this guy like fly?
Yeah, but it's hard.
Why the fuck is he riding around on a train like a crust punk?
You know, he heard it's the way.
Yeah,
He heard those things are the veins of America.
Yeah.
Little vampire joke there for you. Also a train joke for all those engineers out there who rely on the train to get
Russ,
their
I'm
goods.
really fighting the urge not to just get up and walk over there and smack you in the face like Will Smith right now. That was a terrible fucking joke.
You're keeping it, Gary. We have to pad out this time.
Yeah. All right. So Jack goes to meet his superior, Cardinal Alba, and he introduces Jack to Father Adam Gautier, played by Tim Guinea, who's an archivist for the Catholic Church.
Oh, the COVID. Sorry.
COVID?
What was Guinea? What else has he been in? Anything?
I don't know what else Tim Guinea's been in. I know he's been in stuff, and he's had a decent career, but he's not like a huge name.
Sure.
But I'm not too familiar.
Okay.
So Cardinal Alba asks Jack what happened, and Jack tells him about the Master and the Nest and the whole massacre at the Sun God Motel. And Jack thinks he might be a prophesized vampire. So the Cardinal tells Jack
Plot
that
thickens.
What's that?
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens.
Okay. So he's a prophesized vampire.
Yeah. And then things get worse because the Cardinal tells Jack the church's European team of vampire hunters was slaughtered in Germany. And he shows him a painting found at the scene, which is a painting of the master vampire that Jack had encountered.
Right.
And Father Gautier tells Jack the painting is from 1340 and says celebrate in Latin. The painting is of Jan Valek, born in Prague 1311. He was a priest who went against the church and led the Bohemian peasants in an uprising. He was captured, tried for heresy, and burned at the stake. He disappeared from his grave and was the first case of vampirism, which is like, it's kind of a strange term, vampirism. It sounds like you're discriminating against vampires, like the way Russ does with black people.
Vampirism?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no. No. I don't accept that. But yeah, no, I am a vampirist. You know, even though I do take part of their sexual ceremonies or whatever, I'm totally against. It's disgusting.
Well, you just want to do vampire stuff with humans. You don't want to do vampire stuff with real vampires.
Oh, fucking no.
Yeah.
I want to be able to eat a big garlic meal first.
Basically, you're doing like vampire blackface.
In so many ways, but there's no laws against vampire blackface.
That's true. I don't think there's laws against blackface.
No, I'm pretty sure there is actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't do that. It's not allowed.
But it's like a law or it's just like a taboo?
You know, I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, I guess so. You have to look into it before you finish your Halloween costume.
Can we pause real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna look into that. And
okay.
Yeah, Gary, I just looked it up. It is not illegal to do blackface. It is just.
I told you, dude.
It's taboo, and it's not
freedom
right.
of speech. It is your Russ. I understand that you really want to do blackface.
It just ain't right, Gary.
Yeah. Okay, so the Cardinal tells Jack he's the only one who's come into contact with Valek and survived, which sounds impressive, but Fat Daniel Baldwin also escaped.
Right, and
also the sex worker with the bloody pussy. In the next scene, Katrina wakes up and she's tied to the bed face down, butt naked. She looks fucking awesome, by the way, too. And you can tell it's really her. It's not like a butt double.
Oh, yeah.
So props to Cheryl Lee for having a fucking amazing butt.
Yeah. It's a nice pervy shot of her body, for sure.
Totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
There's no reason to tie her down like that.
Right.
So Tony Montoya walks in with what looks like a bag of fast food, which he really doesn't need.
Yeah, I got 4 subs. You want one?
Yeah. Well, do you think they just added this character element after they cast Daniel Baldwin? Like, you know what? It would make sense if you're constantly just like eating McDonald's and shoving fucking candy bars in your mouth and drinking beers.
Yeah, it's like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. You know, he's just a consumer. You know, just like all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty deep, Gary. It's deep things. You didn't realize.
Yeah, this is some
metaphors.
This is some of that John Carpenter social commentary creeping its way in.
There you go.
Like, you see what happens when you eat too much fast food? You go from being like an Alec Baldwin to a Daniel Baldwin. Yeah. So he crawls over her and he's like asking her name. He like removes the tape from her mouth and she screams for help. And he like covers her mouth and he like threatens to like break her neck.
Yes.
He stuffs his finger in her butt. He jerks off for a little while. And then he explains to her that what's that?
Louis C. Kaiser.
Yeah.
No, that didn't.
I think Louis C.K. just jerked off.
Yeah, I know. I'm making up additional bullshit.
Yeah. But he does look like he eats a lot of ice cream, like Louis C.K. So he explains to her that she's turning into a vampire and that she has a connection with the master vampire. Meanwhile, Jack Crow is now stuck with the young Father Gautier, who's very eager and excited to be part of the vampire hunters.
Right. Our newcomer with the glasses and the cool hair and the beard. He's ready to fight.
Jack is very suspicious of Father Gautier, who's like super excited to talk to Jack, and he gives out a bunch of like exposition. Basically gives you Jack's backstory. Very lazy storytelling.
I know that your parents were bitten by vampires and you were raised by the church, brought up to be its master slayer.
The young priest offers to give Jack the sacrament of confession, and that really fucking sets him off. Oof. Jack pulls over the truck. He storms to the passenger side. He pulls Father Gautier out of the truck, and just starts kicking the shit out of him at the side of the road. At first, I was like, I hate this Jack Crow character, but by the end of the movie, I'm like, yeah, this is fucking entertaining. Like, just letting James Woods do every scene at 10,
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah, he holds a gun to the priest's face and insists, and the priest insists he doesn't know what Jack's talking about. He gets back in the truck with Jack, and then, Jack gives probably like the best bad dialogue in the entire film.
They're not romantic, all right? It's not like they're a bunch of fucking fags hopping around in rented formal wear and seducing everybody in sight with cheesy Eurotrash accents. You stand there with garlic around your neck, one of these buggers will bend you fucking over and take a walk up your Strata Chocolata while he's sucking the blood out of your neck. Did that give you wood? What? Huh? You get a little mahogany from that, a little ebony? Come on, tell the truth. I'm just fucking with you, Father. Forget about it.
You got a penis? You got some testicles?
Yeah.
Why don't you put them in my mouth, Padre?
I don't really think we should be talking about this.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you, Father. I'm gay.
Well, the Lord...
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I like guys.
So back at the hotel room, Tony explains to Katrina she's turning into a vampire. This is when Katrina begins to turn. She starts just like shaking, like she's riding a fucking Symbian on the Howard Stern show.
Eyes rolled back.
Yeah.
Body undulating.
So she can see Valec's POV, and he's at some church. He kills the fucking cleaning lady. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Yeah. And then he grabs this like piggy-looking priest who looks kind of like Mitch McConnell. And Katrina attempts to kill herself by jumping from the hotel, but Tony grabs her. And I guess he cuts himself on like the window.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So then Katrina bites him, and it's hilarious because he has a really fucking slow reaction to it.
Ah! You fucking bit me! What are you fucking nuts?
He just like holds out his arm. He's like, "Ah, you bit me. What are you, crazy?" It's like you just explained to her that she's turning into a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tries to like sanitize the wound with a Zippo. He just tries to like cauterize it with his lighter.
I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, I don't think that would do much.
I think that just might cause more problems.
So just then, Jack and Father Gautier show up to the hotel room, and Jack checks Katrina's teeth like she's an old dog. He just like sticks his digits right in her fucking mouth.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta take her out and back.
Yeah.
You got a penis? You got some testicles?
Little red rocket.
And Tony keeps the bite a secret, which like adds to the overall suspense. Jack explains to the young priest that the vampires are physically linked to one another, and that once Katrina turns, she'll be able to help them find Valak. Which is obviously very dangerous, since we know she's already bit Tony Boy over there.
Right.
So Father sees the inherent danger and attempts to, call Cardinal Alba. But Jack takes the phone from him and beats him with it, calls him gay, tells him his penis is small. Then Katrina suddenly starts seeing things again. She sees the priest pointing something out on a map to Valak. She sees Valak decapitate him, which is pretty fucking cool.
Sure. Yeah, that was sweet.
This vampire really loves to kill Catholic priests. Jack Crow shows up at the church where the priest was taken from, and he just like tells the cops that he's an investigator for the Catholic Church, and they just let him come in and investigate the active crime scene.
Check it out. A bunch of decapitated people on here.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, officer? You got a cock? You got some balls? I work for the church. I'm just gonna come in and poke around these bodies.
So he just walks right in his fucking Fonzie outfit, right into an active crime scene. He's like, "Yeah, I'm supposed to be here."
Hey.
And I'm just like, "All right, whatever." Pretty sure it doesn't work like that, Russ.
Yeah. I mean, probably not. I don't think people would just start divulging information. That I'd be like,
But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you just walked into an active crime scene with like James Woods' confidence and just started yelling at a cop and be like, "Yeah, I guess this guy's like FBI."
Yeah, he's asking me about my penis.
Yeah, he's asking me about my penis.
It's clearly official.
Yeah. He's asking all the right questions. He gets right to the top.
He wants to know, in terms of wood hardness, how hard my penis is right now looking at these dead bodies. And I don't know, I had to say a balsa.
Yeah. You got some pine? You got some cedar? What do you got? What's your dick like? What kind of wood? So then a sweaty deputy shows up and announces that they've found the priest. And they all take Jack to the crime scene, to another crime scene.
That is what happened, I guess.
Yeah. After Jack, asks this other cop about his penis for a little bit, they all go to another crime scene, and all the cops are like about to throw up, and Jack's just calling them gay. He's checking to see if their dicks are hard.
Sniffing the buttholes.
Come on, Officer, any wood? Come on, what do you got? Little oak? You got some pine? No? Some teak?
So Katrina has another vision. This time she sees Valak with 7 other vampire masters, which is pretty bad because you could see how powerful one master is. If there's now 7 of them,
7, they're fucked.
Yeah, Jack Crow he's fucked. There's a scene where all the masters pop out of the ground, which is kind of funny because it's all these actors buried in dirt, and they have to pop out and act all menacing like vampires. But you can tell they're just really struggling to keep the dirt out of their mouths and eyes.
And eyes and nose.
So they start coming out of the dirt and they're like,
I mean, they just been under there for at least 30 seconds each too, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to bury them all and pat it down. Each buddy had their own art department person patting.
yeah.
dirt
Well, it's a
on their
bunch
face.
of background actor theater kids. They're so excited to be in this movie probably. And they really want to act and emote and show that vampire face, but as soon as they get up, it's just fucking sand and dirt in their mouth. And
Dude, as soon as you breathe in, all that dirt that's been on your upper lip is just gonna go up your nose, and so you can't breathe. And
Yeah.
so they're coming up nonsense. Dirt in their eyeballs. You can't rub it because that wouldn't look menacing.
So yeah, there's also this a terrible day for night shot when they come out of the ground, and they use that shitty gradient filter. I don't know why they did all these day for night shots. They had money. It's just fucking get lights and shoot it at night.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was in Woods' contract or something. I've heard he's difficult to work with. Probably because he hates every script that he has and he just wants to riff about dicks.
Yeah. That would be so funny if that's why James Woods is hard to work with, is because he just does the same bit in every movie. It's James, can you stop asking the other characters about their penises?
I just want to know if he was hard. That's what this character would do in this situation. He would ask the other guys, is your penis erect?
Yeah.
James, we're trying to make a movie about the Holocaust.
I just want to know if the Nazis got any pine? Any cedar? Any oak?
Birch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a little bit of wood? No? All right. Moving on.
So after being threatened with torture, Father Gautier tells Jack that Valak is seeking an ancient relic called the Black Cross of Berziers. It was used in the botched exorcism that transformed him into a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, this plot is very confusing.
Cool.
Valak plans to complete the exorcism and give himself immunity to sunlight, making him an unstoppable force. But it's weird because they're he needs to do the botched exorcism was a reverse exorcism, but now he needs to complete it. What does that mean? So he has to give himself an exorcism?
Yeah, he's got to exercise.
It really does not.
He's got to do more exercise, Gary.
Yeah. He's got to do
I
more
do know.
stuff, and he's going to be even
Leg presses.
more powerful. The plot is confusing.
Of the book?
Oh, well, I don't know. I never read the book. I'm talking about the fucking movie.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But, he's Valak was a revolutionary who was possessed. Then he became a vampire, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty stupid. So while all this is happening, Katrina can see Valak and the masters, and they're all fucking up these monks. And it looks like they ran out of money because the masters are all dressed like they're servers at a wedding. It's not a lot of budget for wardrobe and all these other characters. So the team finds out from Katrina that Valak has already has the Cross of Berziers, and he's held up in an abandoned town. We see Valak doing stuff. They keep cutting back to Katrina, who's giving play-by-play commentary as she has orgasms. But it's really bad commentary. She'll just be he found it! And it just cuts to her. It's so unnecessary.
Oh, good. I'm glad we know he found it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that is important for them. It really just her being a channel is it's just an easy mechanism.
Yeah, it's an easy way to move the plot forward. Let you know what's happening with Valak. So Jack and Tony follow Katrina's directions to the town where Valak has found the cross. Also, in addition to the 7 other vampire masters, he's turned 30 townspeople into goons, creating the largest vampire nest in history.
Nice. Why did it take him this long to do that?
Well, it makes no sense that he could turn all these people so quickly. Katrina isn't a full vampire yet, and she got bit a fucking week ago. And like now he has 30 other...
Here, he started this like a couple weeks ago. He foresaw it coming.
No, Jack just killed all his guys and then he had to do this again. It makes no sense.
He gave him...
He would have bitten the prostitute first. So why is her transition so slow?
It's because he started at the vagina.
Well, her transition is slow enough just to like move the plot forward, but not let her become a full vampire.
Right.
Also, like as this goes on and Tony is becoming more and more of a vampire, he becomes like a simp for Katrina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he almost gets into a fight with Jack once they get to the abandoned vampire town.
Listen,
It's like, stop trying to touch my dick! It's like, what? I was just trying to see if you were hard. I was just checking to see if you had any wood. Yeah, so like these vampires, they do have like sensuality still. He's just like John Carpenter has drained all the other like humanity out of them.
Is there
They're just like sexy monsters.
Is there any humanity in our lead character, men? Like does James Wood have like humanity?
He likes to make bad jokes.
Yeah, I guess so. He wants to talk about genitals and like
Put you down. I think he's as human as we are.
Yeah.
So anyways, Katrina brings them to the local jail, which Valak is holding up in. And Father Gautier proves himself to Jack by volunteering as bait to trap the master vampires so they can harpoon them and use the winch to pull them out into the sun.
Oh, so he's going to be bait for the master. So he's the master bait.
Yeah, you got there, dude.
Finally.
You fucking got there. Yeah, but it gives you another like cool vampire scene. They kill most of the masters, but it's the sun's going down, so they're fucked. And just as they're retreating, Valak just walks out with more vampires.
Right.
And flies across the street and fucks up Jack.
Yep.
And the vampires capture Jack, and fucking Tony leaves, and the priest runs for cover.
Peace.
Yeah, he's fucking out. Yeah, well, the vampires are planning to use Jack as a sacrifice to recreate the original ritual that transformed Valak into a vampire. He can reverse exercise or whatever. And Katrina and Tony take off, and Katrina bites Tony again. And I guess this is like supposed to be her turning him completely into a vampire.
And her being completely a vampire too?
Yeah, now she's fully a vampire.
Sure.
But also, like, now she's really vampiring him. Like, she already bit him, so there's really no drama in it.
Right. She's just tearing out his neck.
She's just biting him more.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that, like, after she bites him this time, he just, like, takes his gun and shoots his gun till it's hot, and then uses the hot gun to try to cauterize his neck.
Yeah.
It's very fucking stupid.
That wouldn't be effective. It's like
no, he just kill himself.
Yeah, he's just get an infection on his neck, and it's gonna hurt like fuck. God, he's got it coming. Honestly, I've been waiting for this moment the whole movie. This piece of shit to die, and I guess he's been slowly dying, coming to vampire, whatever. But yeah, now he's got his neck ripped out. Great, he's killed in at least.
Yeah, or, you know, he's more bit than he was before. He still seems fine.
Sure.
Maybe John Carpenter's just like, hey, we need to do another cauterized wound scene. This is edgy stuff, guys.
Yeah. We have this gun. Shoot it in the air.
Yeah.
Someone give this Baldwin a gun.
Yeah.
Quick, have him shoot it a lot.
So Cardinal Alba shows up, and it turns out he was the one who set up Jack. He's allied with Valak, and he wants to, become immortal. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Who fucking doesn't? I side with this vampire. I like him.
You like the vampire?
I think I was on Team Vampire before. I'm still on Team Vampire.
Yeah, Jack Crow is annoying. This vampire, he fucks everybody up. He bites people's pussies. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's got terrible clothing, but, you know.
Yeah, not bad, terrible
Maybe
style.
you could take him for a wardrobe.
Yeah.
Something a little bit more low-key.
Yes. Something less screaming, I'm a vampire with bad taste.
Yeah.
What the hell? There's a, in the words of James Woods in this movie, he calls him fucking pole smoking fashion victim.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know what? I bet he wrote that.
Just call him a faggot. Like it's too
No.
wordy and it's cheesy. Just
you schlong whacking wiggly tofter.
Yeah.
He sounded like an Englishman in my version.
Yeah.
That's just a way to say a good guy in England.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. Tell me more. What happens then, Gary? So he's not dead. He is dead.
Who's dead?
Good old Daniel there.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess he's just bit.
He's bit.
He's in a lot of pain because he tried to burn himself with his gun. Because he's not very smart.
Oh, well, my neck's burned out. Ripped out.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it sucks. Yep, it sucks as much as I thought.
So, so Alba's doing some ceremony, and then like Father Gutier just pops up out of nowhere and kills the cardinal before he can finish the ritual, and that holds off the vampires, right? Because they need a priest to do the ritual, and now Father Gutier is threatening to kill himself with the gun, which would leave Valak without a priest.
These rules, these stupid rules. It's got to be a priest. He's got to be ordained.
Yeah, it's dire consequence. He'd have to wait till the next night and do it. You know?
I will say, the squib on the priest looked pretty sweet.
Yeah,
It really blasts him right through the chest.
Yeah, solid effects overall in this movie. It's decent effects.
Yeah, they didn't chintz out on the squibs or the guns. You're making a Western here, you know? That's like half the draw of a Western.
So basically, Father Gutier's plan works, and he's been able to hold off the vampires.
Yeah.
And Montoya comes back and rescues Crow by shooting the crossbow at the crucifix and pulling it with the winch. So it works. They Gutier and Montoya rescue Jack Crow, and the sun's coming up, so all the vampires are retreating. And, Jack follows Valak inside at the shelter, and he stabs him with the Berzier's cross.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't really do much, but then Jack fucking, Steve-O's the column and knocks out the ceiling.
Steve-O, what do you mean? Like, he gets
Jack
real drunk before
he just fucking
audition?
Throws himself through the fucking, through the column and knocks out the roof.
He gives himself a tattoo while fighting vampires.
Yeah.
Oh, a big dick on his face.
He puts a firecracker in his ass and shoots it at the vampire. And then he staples the vampire's balls to his leg.
And then adopts a puppy from Peru.
Yeah.
Turns his life around.
Is that what Steve-O did?
Yeah. Gives to a bunch of charities and become a good guy. No, not this Jack.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack. Stick with his...
But anyways, he knocks the ceiling out, and this causes Valak to explode, and it's pretty great. It's like a big explosion of goop.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
Pretty sweet goo explosion.
Yeah. And then Father Gutier and Crow have a little standoff with the now infected Montoya and the full-on vampire Katrina, who I guess she's like a full-on vampire, but she could still kind of stand in the sun. So Jack shows some empathy for his friend and gives the pair a 2-day head start, promising to give them 2 days before he hunts them down. And the priest doesn't like that.
How generous.
He's turned into, now he's a vicious vampire killer. After Montoya and Katrina leave, Jack and Father Gutier head off once again to kill the rest of the vampires and, make gay jokes.
Yeah, and talk about each other's boners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how it ends. They walk off. They say, "Hey, Padre, you wanna go fuck a couple of vampires?" I'm just playing. Oh, but yeah.
Hey, Padre, you want me to show you my glory hole gun?
It's
anywhere you want. Make a glory hole.
It's 50 seconds or less.
It cost the Vatican $50 million to develop this.
The Vatican would invent some bullshit like that.
They should just use the fucking magic hole-cutting gun on the vampires. Put a fucking big hole in their chest. That'll probably fucking kill them.
Yeah, hole through their head.
Hey, look at this, Father. I can put my dick through the vampire.
Look, it's a flawed movie, but this was John Carpenter's only success of the 90s.
You know what I want to comment on?
Sure.
I want to go back real quick to how much the James Woods character hates vampires. Mm-hmm. Right. So he's got his parents were killed or whatever. Right. He's like Batman. So that's great. That's why he's a zombie killer. But let me read you like the last. He's got like lines that he says to the vampires, and here they are in the last scene when he's killing the final masters. Die, you bloodsucker, blood-sucking fucking bitch. Suck on this. Die, you fucker, motherfucker. a pile of dog shit. Fucking pole smoking fashion victim. Look at me all tied up. Fuck me, daddy. He doesn't actually say that one.
He didn't say "fuck me, daddy."
But he does get tied up and insinuates that all the vampires are into it, and he's also into it.
Yeah.
After 600 years, how's that dick of yours working?
Yeah, can you get hard? Put it in my butt. Come on, Valak, fuck me. What are you, pussy? Pull out that cock and fuck my mouth.
Nah, I'm just playing. Unless. So you get hard killing all those vampires, and you ugly blood-sucking fucker die.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think what's interesting about that, all right, so it's not, he's not just killing these vampires. He's like on top of a person who's getting dragged outside. Already the machine's working, but he's sitting on them and shooting them in the face with a full clip, even though that we know that wasting bullets this way is a waste. Like, this vampire's already doomed because it's going to get pulled outside. 2, like, bullets do jack shit to vampires, so shooting it in the head right now is just wasting your bullets you could be using to slow other vampires coming at you. And here he is yelling, die, you blood-sucking cocksucker piece of shit. Fuck! On every single vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, he
It's
hates
just-
vampires.
Yeah, he really does. It's not just like he's going to be cool about it. He's going to insult you the whole way while he yells at you to die.
Yeah, it's very ham-handed, the character of Jack Crow.
So there's a sequel to this, Gary?
There's a sequel to this. It was a straight-to-video movie. It was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace.
Who's done...
He directed Halloween 3.
Okay.
He directed the It TV movie. He was the guy who created the Halloween mask. He was like the art director on Halloween.
Okay, well, that's good.
So Tommy Lee Wallace directs the sequel. It stars Bon Jovi.
Starring Bon Jovi?
Yeah, and what's funny is...
As Jack? Or a new character?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. He's something.
Okay.
He's in it. He's not as good of an actor as James Woods, that's for sure.
Okay.
I don't know if he makes dick jokes all the time.
Bummer.
He does keep all his weapons inside of a surfboard, which is very like Desperado.
Sure.
It's really weird. These movies are almost like pulling shit from like Robert Rodriguez movies.
Sure. Yeah, no, it feels like that.
But I mean, Robert Rodriguez, one of his big, influences is John Carpenter.
It's just a feedback loop.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, let's be hip like the kids and we'll just rip off this kid.
I don't
That's
know.
Hollywood.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like John Carpenter trying to make an edgy 90s movie. But hey, man, it worked for him, right? It's a hit.
Is it?
It was a hit.
It did well?
Yeah.
It performed well in the box
Yeah,
office?
like the first week it made back like it's 20 mil. And then
Okay.
it was pretty successful. It was like the only hit he had in the 90s. There were 2 fucking sequels.
2 sequels.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Writing's bad. It's kind of a solid flick, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt...
It's worth watching. It's just like uncharacteristically trite for a John Carpenter movie.
Yeah. It feels
It's
really...
a real departure for someone who's like known for like smart social commentary.
Yeah.
And it's just like a pretty shallow Hollywood action thriller.
Action, Western,
Yeah.
machoism, machismo, just like talking about your dicks, killing vampires and pushing women around. That is cool.
Yeah,
in the
decent
90s.
performances, like decent filmmaking. It's just not really a great story.
Yeah. Trust me when I say your girlfriend is probably going to have issues with it.
Oh yeah. Why'd you watch it with your girlfriend? She had issues with it.
Yeah, yeah.
What was her issues with it?
I mentioned them already. It's just like that. It's fucking nonsense. Like I don't know. It's just way too. Yeah, it's just way too butch. It's too like, hey, I'm gonna touch your dick, but it's cool because we're guys and women are stupid and for sex, fuck yeah, and that's the movie, in a nutshell.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
In a nut sack. Nothing's wrong with it, but let me just ask you, Gary. How hard did it make you?
Yeah,
on a scale of mahogany.
What's the thing? They're trying to compare their erections to wood in the film, but what they should do is develop a scale, like a 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 on like how hard is your penis right now.
Yeah, is a 10 like too hard. That's like, I took a Cialis and it's 18 hours later and my dick's still fucking, it hurts.
A 10 is
explode
a
off.
10 is like they stopped off at a mall and the priest was wandering around at Toys R Us. So what do you want to give Vampires, Russ?
Oh God, it was. I'm gonna give it. God damn it. I forget what I gave other movies, but it's definitely under 3 De Niro's. It's probably like, honestly, a 1. It could maybe be a 2.
Giving it 1?
I could give it a 2 for the effects and the gun action, but it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I'll give it 2.5. It's like almost a good movie.
2.5. Then we might as well have a 10 De Niro system.
No, it's a 2.5 out of 5.
So directly in the center, which is essentially what a 3 is on a 5 scale.
No, a 3 is a 3. This is a 2.5. This is less than a 3.
Yeah, but like in 5 numbers, 1 is the very bottom. Oh, I guess there's a 0. We'd be counting 0 as a number on this.
Yeah,
scale?
you can give it 0 stars, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, no, then it's
I think 3 is that's over the line.
Well,
2.5 is like right there. It's like I don't even know if it's good or bad.
If there's only 5, you have worst, less worse, middling, better, best, right? And that would be the 5 numbers. So I would say 3 is really in the middle of the road with that system.
Yeah,
but this is kind of boring for people to be listening to it.
Look, the movie's worth watching. You can go watch it. It's free to watch on Tubi.
On Tubi, and there was another service I think had it.
I don't know. I watched the sequel on HBO.
Oh, nice.
With Bon Jovi.
But they didn't have the first one on HBO.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the third one, you might have to.
I don't know if I can
pirate.
I don't know if I can get through the third one. I think I'm done with this series.
When the third one came out?
I think like 2005 or something.
Okay.
It's not that old.
Oh, so not too many years after the first one. Sometimes it's a big time gap where it's like 20 years and now we're making a sequel for no reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'll give it a 1 out of 5 stars if 0 is a number.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a 2.5 and
and that's De Niro's.
De Niro's, yeah. Which is, the joke is that because Robert De Niro is a big star.
Oh, I get it.
So they're stars.
If that's the case, I give it 2
You could give it 2 James Woods.
Mahoganies.
2 mahoganies.
Yeah. 2 mahoganies.
I give it 2.5 inches of hard penis.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's it? That's all you got?
Come
on.
I can almost lift.
Come on, Padre. Get it up. Get it up for me.
I can almost lift like a wet rag, a little bit. It's almost sliding off. That's where I am in the mast, division. I'm not able to hold it.
You ever
up.
think there was like a awkward HR meeting with like all the vampire hunters? Like, yeah, he keeps asking me if my penis is hard and smacking my ass, and I feel very uncomfortable. I don't want to single myself out and not be one of the guys. But when everyone's like, yeah, I feel the same way, dude. It's fucking weird. Every day he's asking me about my cock and smacking my ass.
Then he comes in. Hey, you guys, jerking each other
Hey,
off?
what are you guys
Mind if I
doing here? You guys hard? Boner check. What's going on? Is it a circle jerk? You all want to come on, Jack? Yeah? Let me see. Let's see what you got.
I bet I could come 2 times quicker than you.
Yeah, that's right, Padre. I'll be hard before you're hard, and I'll come before you come.
Ookie cookie. You ever play that?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Ookie cookie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where you all have to like come on the cookie, and whoever comes last has to eat the cookie.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. I mean, first of all, if everybody else already came, just eat the cookie there. Don't come on it. Don't add another fucking load to it.
Yeah, save your energy.
Fucking disgusting.
Save your energy. Every time you orgasm, that's wasted energy. Like you could have used that for your brain.
Oh, are you one of these like no fap men's rights guys, Russ?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah. How long have you known me? Of course, I'm a no fap men's rights sort of guy.
Because you don't want women to have that type of power over you.
Yeah.
So you just fucking touch dudes' dicks.
I never come.
Yeah.
I make sure I have sex with a man at least once a month to make sure I don't like it and that I am straight.
Yeah.
I might come then, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
There's just the sensation. Anyway, I don't have to explain myself to you, Gary. Anyway, yeah. So check out Vampires if you want. Gary, it's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's better than Ghosts of Mars.
Oof. Which we might have to review eventually. No. We should have a sign off for these things. How do we end these things? Typically.
Yeah, it should just be the frog from Frog Town going, "Shut your hole."